Welcome to Shooting It Straight with Stan. I am your host, Stan, the Annuity Man, America's annuity agent, licensed in all 50 states. Logoed up of everything I'm wearing today has a logo, the Stan, the Annuity Man logo, just in case. You know, as your mother said, well, you need to put a fresh pair of underwear on because if you get in a car wreck, I'm like, I've never understood that. It's like a Southern thing. But I guess the only thing that is not logoed is my underwear. I'm just being transparent. You know, I tell the truth because my grandfather said, if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything, Stan. He was so right, and that's the business model. Today's topic is 4 words. Never touch the principal. Those are the 4 words I want you to focus on. Never touch the principal. What does that mean? That means that we are currently in an interest rate environment. I think I said interest rate, but I said it, you know, kind of like our president saying it right now. Love him. By the way, let's just forget politics. I'm not political, okay? But let me just go on record that when I'm 80, there will be no Shooting It Straight with Stans. I'm not sure I'll get to 80. Holy crap. You know, as they say, I burned the candle at both ends, and boy, what a flame it was. So maximizing the day. But 4 words, never touch the principal. What am I talking about? I am talking about the interest rate environment that we're in right now at the time of this taping. Look at the date. Between CDs that I don't sell, treasuries that I don't sell, and multi-year guarantee annuities that I sell more than anybody. MYGAs are the annuity industry version of a CD, okay? The difference between a MYGA and a CD is that in a non-IRA account, the MYGA interest grows and compounds tax deferred. Doesn't make it better than a CD at all. That's just the difference. That's the primary difference. The other difference is CDs are obviously issued by banks and brokerage firms, and MYGAs are issued by life insurance companies who issue annuities. But you literally can live off the interest, a lot of you out there, not all, but a lot. And the calls that I'm getting now, I always ask 2 questions. What do you want the money to contractually do, and when do you want those contractual guarantees to start? And if the answer is principal protection and income, we are now at a point where that can be feasible. Now, how do you choose between CDs and MYGAs and treasuries? If your duration is less than, if you want to lock in a duration less than 3 years, do not buy MYGAs, buy CDs and treasuries. If you want to lock in a guarantee more than 3 years, buy MYGAs. That's not a sales pitch. That's just getting you the highest contractual guarantee. You can go to theannuityman.com and pull up the best MYGA rates in the country, filtered by state and duration, 24/7, 365. If you want to buy one, we take care of all the paperwork from start to finish. But I love never touch the principal. I grew up in the South in Gaston County, North Carolina, and we lived beside my grandfather, Hunter Garrison, and his wife, Margie, who made the best, I mean, literally, she was one of the best cooks of all time. Seriously. She had one of those pie safes. Like, remember those old pie safes? And yes, there were pies in there. And yes, there were cookies in there. And the one thing that I wanted when they passed, I got it, was that pie safe. And here's the real kicker of it all. It has a shotgun blast across kind of the front of it, because my grandfather, Hunter, dropped a shotgun one day and it went off and it shot into the pie safe. Let me tell you something. That thing is so important to me. But getting back to that, the story. I remember Hunter Garrison and his brother TW, can't make that up. They called him HO and his brother TW. And they would sit around talking about the Jimmy Carter CDs they were getting, 12 and 14 and 16. And for all you old timers out there, you remember that. You nod your head, okay? Are we going back there? I don't think so. Maybe, but I doubt it. But we're at a place now where we haven't seen these type of guaranteed interest rates. And when I say guaranteed, I mean contractually. This isn't some pie in the sky nonsense. Unicorns chasing the butterflies. This is contractual for the duration that you can get 5% or more at the time of this taping. Please look at the date. A lot of people can just peel off that interest, never touch the principal. Those are the 4 words. and just live off that interest. I mean, that to fly over America, the parts of America that the politicians make fun of, and then when they go visit, they act like goobers because they've never even been there before. Fly over America, which is America. I'm not putting people down from New York City because my daughter lives in New York City. But the point is, fly over America, middle-class America, hardworking America. They know what I'm talking about. They've worked hard. They don't want to put their money at risk. They would love to just peel off the interest and live and just live off that and never touch the principal. Not only just because they worked hard, but from a legacy standpoint to leave for their children. Never lose your principal. Never lose a penny. That's another 4 words, right? It's important. Understand that with lifetime income products, and those are fantastic with annuities. You know, you have single premium immediate annuities, deferred income annuities, qualified longevity annuity contracts, and income riders attached to either or indexed or variable annuities. When you take income from an income annuity like those 4, and you turn on the lifetime income stream, the income stream is a combination of return of principal plus interest. Nothing wrong with that because you're going to get paid as long as you're breathing. But when people say, Stan, I need income, the first place I'm going right now is tell me your asset base. Obviously, you can't use, you know, the industry kind of frowns on anything more than 50% in annuities total. But if you have an asset base where you can combine annuities, MYGAs, CDs, and treasuries and live off the interest, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you do that? Fear of missing out? Really? I mean, aren't you tired of the ups and downs of the markets? I'm not putting it down. Sure, that's great. Historically, that's great. But I'm growing weary of that. Well, you just need to write it out. You know, you just need, if you're just there for 7 of the days of the last 10 years, I mean, that's where all the returns are. That's the reason you got to hang in there. And the professional dart throwers tell you that as they're charging you a fee. Nothing wrong with that. I came from Dean Witter, Payne Weber, UBS, and Morgan Stanley, as they say in the South. But we're at a place now with you retirees and pre-retirees and people that are thinking about retirement that we maybe can pull a lot of this off and never touch the principal. Sound good to you? It sounds good to me. Being from Gaston County, North Carolina, rural America, farming America, mill America, textile mill America. That's where I grew up, okay? People work hard for their money, and when the Jimmy Carter CDs hit, they took advantage of it. Yes, it wasn't perfect because of it affected other things, but we're at a point now that you can live off the interest. So, you know, this is what kills me. Every single person that I say, all right, let's try to live off the interest. Tell me your total assets. Let's try to figure it out between CDs, MYGAs, and treasuries. The first question from most people are, well, Stan, what happens when they go down? I mean, yeah, this is great right now. We can lock it in for 5 and 7 and 10 years. But what happens when it goes down? Did we figure it out? Right? Or, well, Stan, where do you think interest rates are going? Well, if I knew that, I wouldn't be talking to you. I'd be on my Learjet trading interest rate futures. The point is, seize the day with these interest rates. I mean, who knows where they're headed? Does the bell ring at the top of the bottom? No, it doesn't. Does this country have 31 trillion in debt and counting? Yes, it does. And when the Fed raises rates, it's like me and you, if we had a mortgage, just voluntarily raising that interest rate on the mortgage. Makes no sense. We'd want to lower it soon, right? Right. So let's cover that question. What happens if rates go down? What happens if rates go back down to 1 or 2%? Then you know what we do at that point in time? We look back at your asset base, see what you can live on by not touching the principal, and then maybe at that time, we look at, say, a single premium immediate annuity for lifetime income. In other words, we let the interest rates force our hand to what we're going to do, to the strategy that's going to happen at that time. We don't try to predict the future. We don't try to buy now for the future. What we do is we live for today and the contractual guaranteed rates that are available. And if they go down in the future, then we might have to pivot and buy an immediate annuity to make up for some of that interest rate loss if interest rates go down. But let's look at the flip side. What if interest rates go up? Good question. Then we continue the party. We continue the contractual train. We continue to peel off interest and never touch the principal. I will guarantee you, male or female, doesn't matter, that your spouse or significant other, one of you, loves that strategy. One of you might be a market maven and trading managed futures and options and butterfly spreads and all that condor stuff, okay? But one of you loves what I'm talking about. One of you loves never touching the principal. One of you loves never paying a fee. One of you loves peeling off that interest. One of you loves getting to that duration at the end, like whether it's a 3 or 5 or 7 or even a 10-year, and having the exact amount of money that you started with. You haven't been eaten up by fees. You haven't been eaten up by volatility. You've taken off the interest off the top and you've never touched the principal. Can I hear an annuity amen out there, please? Virtual high five. Annuities are very, very simple if you make it that way. Most agents want to sell you the most complex products on the planet that they can't even understand. And that's coming from the person that's written 7 books on the subject. And I get it. I understand it. But to me, it's all about simplicity. To me, it's all about 4 words. Never lose the principal. I know it sounds too good to be true. I know what you're saying. What's the catch? There is no catch. You're buying CDs, you're buying treasuries, you're buying MYGAs, and let's throw one more in there. At the time of this taping, you can get phenomenal money market rates. How long are they going to last? I don't know. You don't know. Enjoy them while they're here. Lock them in. Don't make this so difficult. Stop trying to be a Svengali of market timing. Stop it. This all started a long time ago with me, long time ago, year plus ago, when this whole thing hit me. And I was on the phone with very good clients from Alabama, and they made me come up with, and I came up with, you've won the game, why are you still playing? In other words, they had enough money they could just peel off the interest, live off the interest, never touch the principal, and never worry about markets again. And they did it. And the video that I did, you can, if you want to go to my YouTube channel and find it, it's there. It's called "You've Won the Game. Why are you still playing?" Ask yourself that. And then think of those 4 words again. Never touch the principal. Sound appealing? To me, it does. From redneck North Carolina, where I grew up from. And I'm proud of that. I grew up, I mean, you can hear the Southern in me. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with missing out on the markets and missing out on the next crypto and missing out on the next Tesla and missing out on the next Meta and missing out on Jim Cramer's calls, whatever those are. It's okay to miss all that. Do you really care that much? Or would it be cool to look up 5 years from now, having peeled off all the interest from your MYGA, CD, or Treasury, and still have all the principal left? Think about that. Run that in your head. 4 words. Repeat them. Never touch the principal. My name is Stan, the Annuity Man. See you next time.